Chapter at 7:01 on June 21st. And I will seat. So Ferguson Fernault. And if you would read the call, please.
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice for one insertion on Monday, June 13th, 2022, Town of Groton Notice of Public Hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requested a certificate of appropriateness. ACC 22-36, 21 Gravel Street, Brian Carroll, owner, Mark Camo, applicant, fence, pin number 2619184128332. ACC 22-37, 29 Gravel Street, Karen Smith, owner, Chris Vernot, applicant, additions and renovations, pin number 2619184244113. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website, meetings calendar, or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 860-139-52638. Passcode 716622, or by phone 1-312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department. 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut, dated this 13th day of June 2022 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
I move to waive the reading of the hearing procedures.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call. Levinson.
Aye.
Reedy.
Aye.
Moriarty. Aye. Goodman.
Aye.
Ferguson. Hearing procedures are waived. If you'd like to read them, they're over there. What? I didn't appoint him because it's only finance.
Oh, love you guys.
No worries. Thanks for including me, though. I appreciate it.
All right, I will call HDC 22-33, 20 Academy Lane, Baybrook Remodelers. I don't know.
Yes, hello, this is Scott Farquharson from Baybrook Remodelers.
How are you?
Good.
Give us a continuance, right? So you were a continuance. If you can just refresh everyone's memory as to where we left off on this.
Yes, we are doing window replacement at Academy Point and siding repairs that go with the window replacement. And the meeting, we discussed that only 40 of the windows are getting replaced, not the entire number. The committee was asking for better pictures showing a location and a location map of where the windows are being replaced. And I submitted that to the town hall last week.
Okay, so, because you weren't here, right?
I wasn't.
So your application, we just needed additional information as to exactly which windows were being replaced.
That is correct.
Okay. So we can either, if you can either share your screen, or I can switch around to the other side and I can flip through the application of the materials that you submitted. I'm not sure which is easier.
I guess have you flip through it.
You can share though. Okay.
Okay, first one on the left is a location map. And it shows the front of the building has a number 1, and that's would be picture number 1. And the rear of the buildings have pictures number 2, 3, and 4. And we will look at picture number 1 first. Picture number 1, so that's the front of the building. And the 7 windows are the 4th floor only. That's the location for picture number 1. Picture number 2 is the rear, exact opposite side of the building. And that's the next 7 windows, which are on the 4th floor, as well as 6 other windows on the 3rd floor in the rear of the building.
So it's all of the numbered windows that are being replaced?
Yes. Okay. Picture number 3 is the left corner of the rear. In other words, looking at the rear, just around the corner, and it would be those windows there, which are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So the windows on the, what's the second floor, I think that say 4 or 5, those aren't being replaced.
No.
Okay.
So it's the windows on the 3rd floor. See where it
Okay.
says third floor?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
And-
I'm sorry. So when that says on the right there, it says 3rd floor, 14 windows. Does that mean 14 windows are being replaced? Or does it mean there are 14 windows?
There are 14 windows. No. The 3rd floor has 14 windows. You're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8. Over there on the back is 3rd floor also. In other words, it's around the corner, 9 through 14. And then you're going to go around the other corner on picture number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Are you just matching the windows though?
Yes, we are matching the windows.
It's just we didn't know which windows were being replaced, because they're not exactly, yeah. 'cause
Does that make sense?
we just needed to
Yeah,
document
we-
which,
If he comes back,
so we know which ones they were.
Also, there are on the 2nd floor, there are a few windows. In other words, you see them numbered as well.
This thing, right? It was matching-
Yeah.
Yes,
matching what was pre-existing.
So those are also being replaced.
yes. So it's a total of 40 windows.
You gotta slide the other one. Yeah, there you go. It's 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8.
So on the 4th floor, there are 14 windows, front and back. And on the 3rd and 2nd floor is a total, one floor is 14, the other is 12. 2nd floor is 12 windows total. And 3rd floor is 14 windows total. So the total is 40 windows.
Factoring.
And just to address a question, because Eric wasn't here during your initial meeting, you're matching with the windows that are already there.
Yes, same style, they're all white. It's just insulated glass, they're gonna be so much better for the energy code, and they won't have cold rooms in the winter. So,
We're just flipping through some of the window documentation to refresh our memory.
Yeah, because the specs on the windows is attached here.
Right. What she's saying is the existing window.
Okay, so I'm gonna, is that with this or no?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
all
it's
part
all
of it.
gotta
That's
be,
in here?
it all has to be.
No, this came from that pile.
stamps.
I just, okay.
All right,
So you ready?
I gotta add that to that.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you'd like to add to your application?
no, I do not.
Would do any of the commission members have any questions or comments? Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 22-33 is closed. Thank you very much. HDC 22-34. 102 Library Street, John Henderson Construction.
Yes, my name is Kendall Scott. I'm from John Henderson Construction, and I am representing Shannon Weigel.
Is this a new? Or continuous?
It's continued.
If you wouldn't mind just refreshing all of our memory about your previous presentation.
Yep, so it's a pretty simple project. We are replacing her current wood roof with a Atlas asphalt roof. The color is Majestic Shake. We'll be just replacing the current wood shingles, replacing any rotted plywood, and then replacing that with an asphalt roof. And the color was Majestic Shake. So last week, you guys had requested that I bring by just a sheet with some of the color on it and some of the atlas information. So I dropped off a packet with quite a few different things in there just to make sure you had everything you might need. So it should all be in there.
Well, would you mind putting it under the? So we're just, so Mr. Ferguson's just gonna put it under the camera so that everyone in the audience can see. And if you can just walk them through what you submitted.
Yep.
Upside down.
I know.
Get my bearing.
It's not as easy as it looks.
Like a video. Where's the page?
Yep, so right there, you see a couple of the different Atlas options that's directly off of Atlas's website. I made sure that it was circled Majestic Shake. That's the color that we're going with. You can tell from the picture it does mimic the look of an already wood roof. Same thing in the other picture. The reason I included a couple different pictures is just because it's kind of hard to capture it in just a picture. So I wanted to give you a couple of different views of it, but these are all directly from Atlas's website. And it just kind of shows that it's going to look like the current wood roof that is on it.
Thank you. Is there anything different?
This is Specs.
Okay. No. Do any of the commission members have any questions for the applicant? Would the applicant like to add anything?
I think that's it.
Okay. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 22-34 is closed. HDC 22-36. This is 21 Gravel Street, Brian and June Carroll. Applicant Mark Camo, construction of the 6-foot fence. Oh, he's in the audience. Yep, there he is.
Okay, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Thanks. We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, good. So this is probably best if I share my screen.
All yours.
I'm used to what. Okay. Here. Okay, this is grab. You can see this okay?
Nope, we just see your screensaver. Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this is Gravel Street. This is 21 Gravel. This is the Mystic River. And this is June and Brian's home here. So they would like to construct a fence along this southerly property line going from approximately the property line on the street to the west. And then hitting this corner and going to the north and returning to their garage. The reason is with a lot of Airbnb activity going on in this area back here, their privacy in the backyard, in light of their new construction of their sunroom here, has been compromised. They've tried to plant this, and the plantings have been damaged. Most likely because there's kind of a nice view coming across here, and it's just gotten to a point of no return. So, so what they'd like to do is construct a fence, which is this fence right here, be approximately 6 feet tall. That's the Home Series Arrow Wood matte finish by Luther Fence. I understand Luther has installed these in the district before, and again, it would be basically running about 156 feet from Gravel Street to this property line, and then another 85 feet and returning about 60 feet back to the garage. Well, actually about 20 feet back and adjoining to the garage. And I think that's it in a nutshell.
All right.
And there's no fence needed on the northwest
Street for the
line.
Just a picture.
Might not.
No, I think because the garage is there, it serves as a buffer, and those plantings are very, very thick.
But not, you don't need anything from the garage northward.
That's correct. It's very dense brush there, and then the house starts to block the view, so I think that's why it hasn't been touched.
Does anyone have any?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no spec sheet for the fence. It's just a picture.
Oh, so Mark, Don just raised the issue that we see the spec sheet on your showing in our documents. We just have a picture of what the fence looks like. We don't have the dimensions of where the fence is going.
You don't have the site plan?
No. We have a GIS map, and then we have just a photo of what you have as the fence, and then your application, which says Luther composite fence, non-shiny finish. It's really all we have.
So this site plan that I prepared, you don't have?
We do not.
Oh, that I'm unless I clicked on the wrong document. This is the only site plan that I've got.
Just have the
and it should
GIS
have
map.
been. Yeah, I don't even think I have it in my folder, a GIS map. I have this one here that I prepared. And as far as the spec sheet, I've got a quote from Luther Fence that I believe I had sent in last week.
Can you just look to double check?
Is Tom Santorini there?
He is not, unfortunately.
Everything that would have been,
Okay.
Pardon?
everything that would have been submitted is submitted.
Right.
Hold on one second.
Can you submit it via email?
Via email, yeah.
He's looking now, I think.
Yeah.
Would have been on the end of Thursday for when they posted. Would have had to been by the end of Thursday. When they posted.
What does the application say about?
So Pete, I'm not sure what I printed out and put in the file, but what do we have loaded on the GIS, not the GIS, but the web portal for this application?
Okay, I can see that I sent Tom on Friday, June 7th at 7:25 a.m. the site plan I just showed you, prepared by me, the HDC application, the Luther fence proposal and quote of the style, and the JPEG photograph of it.
We have that.
It's all, Eric was faster than me. It's all on there. We just don't have it in our printed file, Mark. That's not your fault. So I think we're good because everything was uploaded on the portal, which is what our concern was.
Okay, gotcha.
And the details and spec on the fence.
It's all, yeah. I'll let Eric show you because my phone was slower.
I mean, close enough.
I'm just giving that since I can see.
I lost it.
Don,
It was there.
I believe you.
All right. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant or comments for the applicant?
Nothing, are we gonna get, we need to get that? into the-
I'm assuming you'll just print off what was in the portal and just add it to our file. Anyone have any questions or comments for the applicant? Mark, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nope, just that I appreciate you guys holding these meetings virtually like this. As you know, it's 2:22 where I am, and it's great to be able to do business still. Appreciate it.
All right. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HGC 22-36 is closed.
so Pete,
2:22 in the morning or?
modify
Morning.
the count. Okay.
He's in Greece. HDC 22-37, 29 Gravel Street, George and Karen Smith, Mr. Vernat.
Hello,
Wow.
can I do a share screen?
Beats.
Mark's got to give up his, they'll be so.
Mark, you have to give up your screen share.
I think I did.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
So could I just confirm you could see my PDF package here?
Yes.
Okay. So my name is Chris Vernat, architect with Mercer Birchie Vernat Architects in Mystic. And I'm here tonight for the applicant or the project at 29 Gravel Street in Mystic. We've been before the board twice in the past as preliminaries to present and get some feedback. And on both occasions, we've included that feedback in the presentation and tuned it up each time. So I'll go through the presentation here again and explain where we are now and what we've changed since last preliminary. So this is a southerly view from the street of 29 Gravel Street. And what we are proposing is this existing gable roof here, this sort of half story above, to raise this roof about 3 feet, a little more than 3 feet, so that this eave of the existing roof line falls underneath the existing main roof eave line. Our first presentation had this eave aligning with the existing, and we got feedback that maybe we should pull that down, and we've gone ahead and done that to keep the scale down. And then also, if you notice in the back here, there's an addition, a single story addition, and we're proposing to raise this about 8 feet so we can add a story, a bedroom on the back here. And when we first came in, we had a gable roof on this, and we've since gone with the existing flat roof in order to keep the scale down. So it's sort of an introduction. On the garage in the back here, we are proposing dormers. This is the south facing roof. We're proposing a set of one shed dormer on this roof here, and then the reverse on the north side of the garage. It's the GIS site plan indicating where the house is located with the river on the right here, Gravel Street. And this is an empty vacant lot that the owner at 29 Gravel also owns. As part of submission, these are the two neighbors to the south at 2 Cliff Street on the left and 27 Gravel on the right. This is 29 Gravel, our project from the street straight on. And you can see the L on the left-hand side there, which we propose to raise that roof a little over 3 feet. And this is the neighbor to the north at 31 Gravel. This indicates where we have some photos taken from showing the existing and the proposed. Viewpoint A at the bottom here, vantage point B a little further up Gravel Street, C even further on the north side. And then viewpoint D is taken from Eldridge, showing what you can see between the house on the corner here and Eldridge. So these are the vantage points that were just mapped out on the previous slide. View A on the top left. So again, this is where we're focusing, lifting this roof a little more than 3 feet and raising this roof, this existing flat roof in the back a story to create a new addition space on the rear. And then the proposed garage dormers on the back here. This is view B, just a little bit more north on the street, again, showing the roof on the L that's going to be lifted. And then view C on the bottom left is the vantage point that shows the back side of the garage from Gravel Street, where we're going to have a shed dormer. And then view D, bottom right, back side of the garage as well. In this vantage point is from Eldridge Street. So these are the CAD 3Ds of what we're proposing. This shows the roof raised in a slightly lower condition than the existing eave of the main house. So we've kept this down as much as we can for scale. And then on the back here, the story that was added and kept the flat roof. Coincidentally, this helps quite a bit to keep the scale down and help this main gable of the existing reed and have that come through. And then you can see a small portion of the dormer in the back on the garage. We've gotten feedback about this dormer here, maybe not fitting in with the house. So we've made it ever slightly narrower, and we've added shutters to the windows to try to bring that into better alignment with the main house. View B, again, just showing the roof on the main L raised here. View C shows the proposed dormer on the back with 3 windows and shutters on each of those. We've also added shutters to these existing windows on the east side of the garage here. And you can see a small portion of the shed dormer on the south facing roof of the existing garage. View D at the bottom of the sheet shows the dormer on the back from Eldridge. And again, the 3 windows with shutters, and the 2 existing windows on the west side here, we're going to add shutters to those as well. Straight on elevations of each, just mentioning the materials that will be used. I'll actually call out at the end here, we have specific details where the actual materials are noted, and I'll read through and go through those. This is the north elevation at the top of the sheet here. So standing at the neighbor, sort of on Eldridge and looking back at the house. And then at the bottom, the west, this is the view from their empty lot in the backyard. We are adding this chimney here on the back of the addition.
The chimney on the left side of that drawing is existing.
That's correct, Todd. This chimney is existing now. Again, elevations of the garage explaining the dormers that are proposed each side, this being the south side, which you can only see about this left-hand portion here from the street. And then the back of the garage, the north side, which you can see from Eldridge here. This is the floor plan, the first floor plan of the existing house. First floor, the garage bays. And then the second floor, this being the main house here on the north. And this is the existing L that we're raising the roof on. And then this is the proposed new addition on the back with a flat roof here. And then the second floor of the garage, of course, this already exists. We're just adding dormers to it and building out more space. This is an accessory unit.
Maybe I'm mixing applications, but weren't you changing a window on the first floor? Or am I wrong? Facing east.
On the existing house, we are changing this window here
Yep, okay.
in the kitchen. Would you like me to go back and look at that in elevation?
I just wanted to, that one right there.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure I was remembering.
So we are doing all new windows on this piece here, all new shutters, all new windows. And that would be the same for this south elevation here. These are all new windows here as well, and shutters. And that 3-window setup is here in the kitchen as it looks out to the river. Roof plan showing the raised roof and its pitch, the flat roof on the addition here, and then the 2 shed dormers on the garage. This is where I'll just go through and read the specs for the proposed materials. If I can zoom in here. So starting at the top, we're proposing asphalt, architectural asphalt style shingles, 130-mile-per-hour wind warranty. Wherever we have valley flashing, it would be a V-crimp lead-coated copper. The shutter detail that we're using on the right-hand side, they're wood, real wood shutters painted with operable louvers. We have the spec there for the manufacturer. All authentic hardware. For the materials on the house, the siding and trim, starting from the top on the right-hand side, the clapboard siding is going to be a painted wood clapboard siding. The window casing is a solid wood trim, 5/4 inch by 4 inch, painted. The window sills are a solid wood trim, 2 by 2 in profile, painted, solid wood. Door casing is solid wood, painted, 5/4 by 4 3/8. That matches the existing house detail exactly. The corner board, which is very interesting, has a beaded corner, and that's a 5/4 by 5 with a 1-inch bead on the corner, and that's wood painted. And the skirt board is 10-inch, and that's wood painted. The fascia, soffits, and gable end trims, those are all wood painted. We've measured the house. We've mapped out the details exactly in order to replicate them. And we have the details on the other side of the sheet here, which I'll show you in order to replicate what's on the house. The windows, we're proposing an Anderson E-Series window, which has a metal exterior and a wood interior. And it has a modern divided light, is what we would use for the mutton bars and the insulated glass. This is the detail that would show the top cornice piece of the flat roof and the trim on how that's put together. The flat roof is a 60 mil PVC membrane roofing. You can't see it from grade, and because it's flat, but we need to use a membrane roof. Painted metal drip edge, Brosco painted wood trim. All the fascias, soffits, and trim shown here will all be wood painted. This is the detail on the right through the corner board where there's a photo on the left, and it's got a 1-inch beaded corner. Very nice detail, and we're going to replicate that exact. And then the eave of the roof of the L, the photo on the left-hand side is a detailed photo of that, and the drawing on the right shows how that's constructed. We've measured all the parts and mapped them out. They'll all be wood painted, and we're going to replicate that exactly. The gutter, you can see in the far hand left side of the photo, there's a painted aluminum gutter and downspout, which we plan to match. And then last on the house here is the existing gable eave trim, photo on the left, detail on the right, again, replicating it exact and using painted wood for all of that. And then the last page here is the details for the garage. I'll just review these quickly. So we have the details there. The garage was built with slightly different materials 2 years ago, and so we're going to just continue on with that material palette. The gutters and downspouts and mounting hardware be traditional rain removal system. It's a K-style aluminum gutter, painted white to match the existing on the house. The siding on the garage and dormers, well, I should say siding on the proposed new dormers will be a hardy plank cement board, 4-inch exposure, painted. The window casing is a boral, 5/4 by 3/8, and again, painted on that. The window sills are a 2 by 2 boral, and that would be painted. Door casing is 5/4 by 3/8 boral, painted. Corner boards are 5/4 by 6 boral, painted finish on that as well. Fascia soffits and gable end trims, again, boral with a painted finish. The roofing notes, the roofing spec on the garage dormers, certainty architectural style, colonial asphalt shingle. And again, we have the detail showing how the materials come together and the construction of the eave for the dormers. And that's what we have for our presentation tonight on the proposed work at 29 Gravel Street. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, do you want to go back? Do any of the commission members have any questions for the applicant?
You have a spec sheet for the new chimney?
Do I have a spec sheet for the new chimney?
Yeah,
I do not. As far as the brick goes, we would use a brick that matches the existing chimney. And actually, it's painted white here. So we would replicate this same. If you can see that, it's painted white brick, the painted black top, and a stainless spark arrestor at the top there.
That's what you're gonna do on the new chimney too?
Yes.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant from the commission? No. Chris, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I was hoping to answer any questions, but that's the full presentation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone in the audience like to speak for this application? Would anyone in the audience like to speak against this application? HDC 22-37 is closed. Berg. Do you need me to wait?
Nope.
Okay. deliberations on HDC 22-33. This is the Academy Appoint windows and trim. Any comments or motions?
Move to approve.
Comments? All in favor? Levinson,
Aye.
Brady,
Aye.
Moriarty, aye. Goodman.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
The application is approved. HDC 22-34. This is the roof installation where it was continued because we didn't have the exact roof color material. Any comments or motions?
I think it's too bad they're replacing a cedar roof with an architectural asphalt roof. However, it's close, so I'll
Right.
move to approve.
Aye. Any, no, go ahead. It's okay. I wasn't. Any other comments? All right, all in favor? Levinson,
Aye.
Brady,
Aye.
Moriarty, aye. Goodman.
Aye.
Ferguson.
Aye.
The application is approved. HDC 22-36. This is the installation of the 6-foot fence along the south and west of the property to prevent privacy encroachment. Any comments or motions?
I just want to say I don't like vinyl fences in the historic district. I'm sitting in our manual that says they can't be there, but just my opinion, I don't think they're in keeping with the historic district.
I have no problem with the fence, but that fence we've used on other projects, and it's not as matte as it's made out to be. So it is more like a true vinyl fence. My only question was is if it's 210 feet at $12,000, they could put a wood fence up. It's not like it might actually be cheaper.
I think when they, I don't mean to put words in his mouth, but they had looked at this particular fence for efficiency purposes. However, I have the same concerns over a vinyl fence. I've never been a big proponent of vinyl fences in the historic district. That being said, I thought that at the last meeting when I rose that question, you had said that the material that they were using was similar to a material that Eric had used on his
Well, we
railing
talked about
system.
the, what's it called, the India.
Intex is an
Intex.
extruded PVC product, and Intex makes fences. It's just a 6-foot section of Intex fence is like close to $1,500. So no one really uses them because they're extremely cost prohibitive. That PVC fence is better than like a Home Depot vinyl fence, but it's still nowhere near like what an Intex product is.
That's the connection I wasn't making.
So would it be within our purview to request, to continue to request the actual sample so we can look at it? I'll be honest, I don't like vinyl fences in the historic district. I think it's not in keeping.
They could produce a sample, but we've Luther's installed that exact fence on another project. Not around here, so I've seen it.
But in the historic district?
No. But I know that it's not as matte as,
You're saying it's super shiny
I'm saying it's
or shiny?
all right, like true vinyl from Home Depot is a 0 and Intex is a 10. It's like 4 or 5.
And to what Eric says, I'm getting a new fence put in my house, so I know the cedar is almost the exact same price as that product as Luther actually bid it, so.
$300 a section, so they could do it out of wood,
So
especially on gravel street. Running out to the road. So I can tell you if they bring the sample, I'm still gonna vote no, but they want the opportunity to bring the sample. Only because I've seen it, you guys haven't.
Or you can make a motion to deny. And then we could just vote on it.
Well, you wouldn't make a motion to
Yeah,
deny, you'd make a
yeah,
motion to approve and deny it.
Yeah.
right, and then just vote no.
Okay, all right.
So my comment, my bad, we probably should have given the applicant a little bit more of an opportunity. We didn't discuss this when it was a public hearing. I don't know if any of this, I know in the last application or the preliminary, I don't know if we did preliminary or pre-hearing, I voiced my concern over it being final. But we could have probably given him a little bit more of an opportunity for feedback. That's my only concern, but
I just think since I've been on here, we've never approved it.
we have.
But it was that one thing that was buried in the backyard.
We've approved it. You voted no, I voted no, but it's been approved. So we've definitely approved final in the historic district.
Was that fence on High
West
Street?
High Street, High Street was the one that's most notable.
Oh, the one between, okay, yeah, no, you're right
Yep.
about that.
So
Where
it's
they
been
step- They
approved.
step down the height of the fence as it comes to the street.
No, you're right.
So, you know, he's not on anymore. So I feel like we should vote because he's not here to, oh, is he still here? So can I,
Close public, reopen him,
I
and
do
then
that here.
reopen? Or.
But what do you want to do anyways? Ask him to bring the sample.
ask him if he wants us to continue it or vote, because I feel like he didn't get the opportunity to contribute. I feel like he didn't get the opportunity to respond to our comments and concerns.
I mean, can we request why he wants vinyl and ask if he wants to bid woods? I mean, see if it's a cost issue or what, why he chose vinyl. I think that speaks to the.
I'm looking to staff for advice.
You could probably make a motion, open it up as a question.
I feel like we've done
When
that.
they substitute wood, they substitute wood.
Right, you're only asking the one question. You're not really opening up, introducing new information. You're just trying to get clarification on a question.
Final as opposed to it. I believe he answered that question, but, okay. All right, so I'll close deliberations,
Just don't bring in any new information.
reopen public hearings and call, is this the right one? No, you took it. 36,
Mark,
HDC 22-36. Mark, can you hear us?
can you hear?
I can't,
Did you hear our discussion?
I did,
Okay,
the only,
So we're not allowed to introduce new information. Peter's cautioned me on that. But we were allowed to ask you the question of why you picked that particular material.
I believe the Carol's just shows it for maintenance.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
We left
Yep.
ask them into it.
Don't push it.
Okay.
That's the one question we could ask. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mark. I will
You're welcome,
close
thanks.
public hearings 22-36. Reopen deliberations HDC 22-36.
I just have no problem with the fence. I have a problem with the material.
I think we just need to vote and see.
Yeah, I just want to say, I mean, maintenance. Vinyl siding is a lot more maintenance free than painted wood, but we don't allow it. So I don't think maintenance itself should be the, in my opinion, reason.
I will make a motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor? Levinson,
No,
Grady,
Yes.
Moriarty, no, Goodman,
No.
Ferguson.
No.
The application is denied. Okay, HDC 22-37.
Just to be clear, we're denying the material though, so you can still, because
Yes.
you can still come back
Yes, for offense.
with a fence.
Can that somehow make it into the record that we were denying it not on the fence, but we're denying it on the material of the fence?
Yeah, I can put a comment on this right here.
I just think it'd be helpful for him when he,
Right,
when he
it's not
hears.
an issue where it's located or anything else.
Yeah. I just don't want to be neighbors upset to say like, no, you denied defense.
Reapplying, come back in.
HDC 22.
Sorry.
That's okay.
6 months from now, if we deny the whole thing, right?
Okay.
If you deny it, you can't come back for like 6 months.
No,
right?
because there's a material change. isn't there?
If this,
A
this,
material
it
change.
changes the material, it's a material change. So he could come
We
back.
can come back next time.
Oh, okay, good.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, HDC 22-37, 29 Gravel Street. Comments or motions?
I've never been in love with this since the beginning. I think the choice of materials is appropriate. I think what they're trying to do is appropriate. I don't think it fits the house.
Any other comments or motion?
I mean, I don't, I agree, there's some things about the house that are not necessarily the greatest thing in the world, but I still think that it's an appropriate application, and should be approved based on the conditions or what they're trying to achieve with this house in terms of expanding, say, the ceiling heights on the second floor. You can't really stand up on the second floor of this house. And so it just becomes a question of, you're modifying the appearance of a house, which in and of itself is not something that you're not permitted to do. And so I can understand some design issues, but I'm not sure that they're really so glaring that it's not worthy of approval.
I'm not crazy about the dormers on the garage, but it's the look of them. That's my opinion.
So I'm with you. I think you see a lot of these shed dormers on garages. It's going to be 20 years. Now you're going to say that's so 2022. I mean, it's a design element we're seeing a lot of that hasn't existed usually in this area before.
Think about it as it works. That's why we do it a lot.
Right.
Otherwise, it just get useless space. But I think it's more about this. For me, it's more about the house. You're going to create now two big faces. Straight on the road, straight on from the seaport.
Yeah, I think all of us have had some kind of, I won't say gripe, some. I want to just at least tip my hat to him listening and taking into consideration all of what we shared with him. I'm with you on the dormers. When he was here last time, we talked about it a lot. But I feel like there's nothing egregious that prevents us, in my opinion, accepting it. Yeah, it's big. It's big.
Any other comments, motions?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, Levinson,
Aye.
Brady,
Aye.
I abstain. Goodman?
No.
Ferguson?
Aye.
Motion is approved, application is approved. All right, preliminary deliberation or preliminary hearings.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up, introduce yourself.
I was gonna mention, we have somebody in the crowd that's gonna handle it. I don't know if it was EMZ.
Or just ask them if they're here for a prelim or.
EMZ, are you here for a preliminary application?
That's to unmute.
All right,
EMZ, can you hear us?
that's all right, if they're still there when we get to them. If you could introduce yourself and tell
Hello,
us what you'd like us to
everybody.
do.
I am Kirsten Packa. I own 50 Westminster Avenue. I am here because I had some work done on my house outside. And I didn't realize I needed to request a certificate of appropriateness. So the work is done. So I'm here first to apologize. This is not how I like to do things. I've been before you all before. So Mr. Zanarini, I was approved for the hearing on July 19th, but I'm not going to be in town. So he asked me to come tonight to, I guess, talk about where things are. Okay. And that's why I'm here. So I don't know if the application is here.
You can show a screen right there. Give it on your.
I just
laptop.
have pictures. So essentially what was done.
So if you
Put it down
lay
flat,
flat,
pick it up on
and
the
then we
camera.
can all see it over there.
All right, I'll do it this way. Perfect.
There you go. It's definitely not.
Upside down is right side up.
You guys are messing.
Everything's backwards.
There you go. So the work that was done is that wall, the whole, let me start over. Sorry, I'm nervous. So,
Don't be nervous.
well,
You want to shoot out the consensus.
guys are too much. Okay, so the old front steps were poured concrete. They were broken. And in order to access the front steps, you had to walk around into the street to get to the front steps. So people would come park in the driveway, not really know where to go, knock on the basement door, or then have to walk onto 50 West Mystic Avenue to get up to the front steps.
Can I just, I'm sorry, I know you're nervous, but I'm
Yes.
trying to make you, can you just give me a context of where 50 West? Mystic
Sure.
is?
Do you know where the West Mystic Post
Oh,
Office
that's
is?
what I
It
thought.
is
You're,
directly, it's
you're
a
on the
house.
corner of two court- over-
I'm not the house on the corner. I'm just off the corner, but the entrance of the house, this front face is directly across from the West Mystic Post Office.
Every time I drop my parents' mail in the mailbox, I see your garage. So I know exactly where you're at.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is the front of the house?
This is the front of the house, and so West Mystic Avenue, it would be right behind me taking this picture.
It's literally across the street from the post office. If you don't, post office parking lot is. Yeah.
Okay, so I have, oh my gosh, you guys are really pushing my tech limits here. So I have the next picture. Okay, so those are the front steps. You can see where the landing ends. And so those were the steps going up to the front door, which is on the side of that porch. Okay. And then there was this concrete wall, that retaining wall. This is when I purchased the house about 6 years ago. That wall was starting to crumble down. So chunks of concrete were falling down. So so that was the previous situation. What the work that was done was that retaining wall, that concrete wall was taken down because it couldn't be saved. And a retaining wall was built to hold the hill back. And then I had the walkway moved around, so, which I'll show you in a moment, so that it was more obvious to walk up to the front steps. So people weren't walking into the street. And then I had a retaining wall built alongside of the basement because it was just dirt. And when it would rain, the dirt would just flow into the driveway. So there was a multitude of problems. Would you like to see a picture of the driveway? Previously? Sure. So that is the basement door. This is in the summertime covered with grass, but it just progressively over time.
And just point with your finger on the picture.
Oh, okay. The basement door. Come on. That is the.
It's all backwards.
That is the basement door.
Okay.
And so this is what this was kind of becoming just muddier and muddier when it rained. Okay. So any questions about the before? All right. Okay, so this is the house currently. So this is the new retaining wall. And it was replaced, that section, let me point here. This section here is the original concrete wall, so it was replaced at the same height. And it's tiered back a little bit to hold back the dirt so that I wouldn't have the same situation of the dirt just pushing. And then you can see the steps were then added, with then landscaping to the right of the steps.
Are these stone steps?
Those are stone steps, yes.
The other steps were removed.
The other steps were removed. So those posts are going to have lighting fixtures on them, but I haven't selected anything. That's the next step that I believe I need to submit to the committee. And then let me show you the view from the street. Okay, so this is the current view from Westminster Avenue, just behind you. So I think you can see the difference. And then I will show you the retaining wall by the basement. So that's new retaining wall.
That was the basement door that people haltingly came into the first time. Right?
They would just knock on it, you wouldn't hear them, or they would just kind of walk around on the street and you would notice them from all the windows in the front of the house.
And the wall behind the propane tank there?
Yeah, that is, that's the garage. That's an attached garage.
It was covered in bushes. If you can go back to that picture, it's all new. It was all green, overgrown.
Yeah, I had those
That
removed.
wall is concrete there.
That wall is concrete. Yeah,
That was there when you bought the house.
that was there when I bought the house. So this is the view when I bought the house, all that overgrown.
Behind that
Growth.
bush.
Yeah, it's behind that bush.
So there's two garages in your house,
Yeah, so there's an attached garage, which goes into the basement,
right?
and then the other one to the left is the detached garage.
Look at that shed dormer up there.
Crazy, huh?
And it was there when I bought the house. So that is the work that's been completed. And again, I apologize, but now I'm not quite sure what the next steps are.
So she's put an application in, she's on the hearing
Yeah.
on the agenda for what? Did you say
July
July 19th?
19th.
Do we not have a meeting? Oh, is it July 4th? So the only meeting we have in July is the 19th? Okay.
You said you're under out of town.
As of yesterday, I was unable to attend, but I'm supposed to go backcountry hiking into Yosemite, but one of my group just tore her rotator cuff, so we're not sure if we're going now. So we'll know by the end of this
As a
week.
practical matter, if she can't make the meeting, we can just see, it's not as though it matters whether you come to the next meeting or the meeting after,
Right. So
right?
I think there's a couple, you can continue with your application for the 19th and submit as much of the material as Tom and staff tell you to. And what would happen, I think, is if we felt that we didn't have enough material, we'd continue it. But if we felt that we had enough material, that we just, still vote on it in whether you were here or not to make your presentation, because you essentially just made your presentation.
Okay, when you say material, what can you be?
All of those photos.
Okay,
A detailed spec sheet of what materials you used.
got it.
A site plan,
Mhm.
a GIS map. You might have seen them when people put them up, or you can get them online. And maybe a short summary of what you did and why you did it.
Okay.
What the posts are made out of,
I know this was something.
When the posts are made, okay, yep.
and the size. Dimensions of the.
Okay.
Draw on the site plan, like where the walls were. Like
Where
what
the
you-
original,
No, the new ones.
the new ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
But if I were you, if you cannot attend the meeting,
Just wait.
wait till you.
It's
can-
already done. It's not like it's going anywhere. So you can just continue to the next one.
Because in essence, everything you said here today is informational, but not part of the public record.
I see.
So
Okay,
you, so when you come back, you have to go through everything again anyway.
that's fine. I'd rather talk about it now and then,
Yeah, and if you find out at the last minute you can't attend, then let's just
Continue.
continue.
okay, that's fine.
People are stressing when they're trying to like get started at this point. Not gonna matter.
Right,
whether
for
it's-
you, it's there.
Okay, and then in terms of the light fixtures on the post, can I make a choice and then submit that with the application for the 19th and continue
And
them?
you're gonna have to come back another
Okay,
time.
that's great. Okay,
What, are you gonna have wiring to the posts or?
I'm actually looking into getting salvaged ship's lanterns that go on the top that are kind of in scale to those posts because there's no lighting in the front of the house right now.
Would there be wiring going?
There is wiring that was wired through already. Yeah, I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question.
What are the posts made of?
They're stone.
So where they run
came-
the wire?
The pillars came with
Holes in them?
holes in them. Yeah,
Mhm.
so they
You
just
get a
ran the
drill.
electrical.
Clinical.
Well, I knew you could drill them, but I wouldn't want to be drilling them.
Yeah, somebody else did that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, thank you.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Have a nice one. Thank you.
Trying to tell everyone we're not as scary as.
I'm a rule follower and I didn't follow the rules, and so I don't like that. That will not happen again. Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Furtman,
you.
good, how are you?
My name is Judd Bertman with Elite Construction, and I have that project over on 3 Pearl Street. And
You are the most patient person,
yeah, last time,
like meeting in a row.
I was trying to get this thing going. This is the GIS map, and this is the property right here. So this building in the back would be getting a little deck on it, and then this one would be getting it like right in this corner. And then went out, took some pictures of this stuff. That would be like looking from Pearl Street, so you probably see just a little portion of the deck on this building, and then a new sliding door here. And then this would be from West Main Street, where that brewery is now. You'd see probably just like the top of the deck railings here. And then this would also be getting a slider door in this window. And then this would be the other building in the back from that same kind of view. You'd see the top railings there as well. And that sliding door. Then I just did probably look something like that maybe from that view. This would be the other. Yeah, they want to do all this just out of pressure treated. I know we were saying something about the spindles last time, but I mean, if you guys have any options that you guys would rather see, I can definitely ask them about them. And that would be the other corner, of the deck.
That fence there, that's existing now?
Yeah. Yep, and this one would just be down the driveway. Kind of looking at it, obviously you wouldn't see like this portion of it because that other building kind of blocks it.
But the railing there. What's it's pressure treated? What is it just like?
They just wanted to use like just regular 2x2 spindles, but I know last time you guys said you didn't really like those. If you
The
guys have,
problem is it's a kind of a,
not the look.
it's a very different motif. I also think that maybe a bit of an issue with the slider too, you know, the slider is not, I mean, it's visible, it's visible from the street, it's visible from West Main Street. And so, I mean, it would seem to me, I would be looking maybe more for, if you're gonna do something like that, I can understand you want to open it up or whatever, but at a minimum, I think you'd want to do some kind of a French door or something. rather
Yeah,
than
instead.
sliders look like sliders. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. no,
And because the one door is proud of the other door and it just reads very differently visually. You're looking at it.
Okay,
And, and if that's a regular old, 2x2 spindle type deck,
I mean, what else would you guys kind of recommend to use for something that would fit the area more?
well, you have what's more of a, well, like even Eric on the standard building has a standard a spindle type deck, but it's not pressure treated.
Okay,
I mean, are you sandwiching the balusters between a top and bottom rail? Is that what you're doing there?
yeah,
Would you sandwich them or would you affix them to like a 2x4 on the side?
I think I
Well,
would do a
hopefully not
2x4 on both edges and then just like a top deck board or something to do like a drink rail style or something.
It's tough because like the intake stuff is 2x2, but it's sandwiched between that decorative cap and the bottom cap.
Right, which is very
It's got
different.
some more
Yeah, that's a
detail.
very different look. I mean, as opposed, that's what I was talking about, the old 1970s. People would, well, we talked about it, they take a 2x2 and they cut an angle on the bottom and set it up against a board on the side, and that's definitely not.
Well, it's
gonna
like
look-
what we did at SIFT. Looks like garbage. Going up the stairs.
Fire.
Can you go back to a couple? pages before that?
Like these drawing ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you
the
can
one
do
before that.
cable rails.
That might really diminish, like,
You wouldn't see it as
looking.
much.
Cable rails might be a little bit better.
I think it was the one, maybe the one before that one. even.
Just like the regular pictures.
Okay,
You need risers on those treads, on those stairs. Yeah. This,
Or you can just put anything, 1 to 4 inches. You can put up something in the midpoint.
your rendering showed it open, that's why I was curious.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm not no architect. I just got this program, just trying to mess with it.
Well, I mean, I also think that appearance wise, you're much better off, well, and I don't know what our jurisdiction, how it extends it, but I mean, if you're gonna put rails and stuff up there, if they're not gonna be cable rails, I think they should be painted.
Yeah.
I mean, in other words, if you do a pressure treated deck and let it turn gray, that's all well and good, but that's really a very different kind of appearance from what might be considered more of a colonial-esque looking kind of rail.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I'm
might
saying?
like the cable rail idea, because I mean, that would keep a good view through everything too. Even from them sitting up there.
Yeah, I think a more colonial rail system like the index stuff or one of those, or cable. I mean, I think you're right with the French door. That's a big difference.
Yeah, yeah, or actually, real French, doors, the profile is different.
Yeah, okay.
Because it is way in the back and it's not like it's in your face. I mean, I didn't even know the house was back there.
I was
I didn't
surprised that you could see this.
I didn't either. We brought it up.
This is a better looking house in the building. Don't show us any photographs of that building. It's god awful looking thing. Like the bookstore edition on West Main Street.
All right, so I'll go back and just re-edit a little bit of stuff and try to see if they'll go with cable rails, I guess. And then that's kind of the biggest thing, is just like the railing system.
Look
and
at
the,
cable rails, or look
French
at the rails on the standard building on Water Street too. That would be an alternative. Because, they may look at the cable rail is gonna cost them more than,
Yeah, they're gonna
some
add
other-
to it.
The cable rails are really expensive
Yeah.
right now.
Awesome.
or you could do them yourself.
Yeah, but those tensioners for the end are now $40 a piece. You gotta use
They're
8.
stainless, right? So,
It's ridiculous.
Well, thank you for your time.
thank you.
One thing, what if you did a sliding French door where it looks like a French door, but it actually does slide?
Well, he could, but it still reads differently.
Just a little better than,
Well, and the house is basically, I don't know how old that house is, but probably pretty old, right?
But I think the French door would be nice too, even to move furniture in and out. It probably would be better for people anyway, so.
I don't know if it opened an open cabinet or something, or whatever's on this.
that room would be okay. It would just be on that angle building. I'd have to see.
You just don't want the rail to look like a rail and deck you'd see in an old ranch burger house. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I hear you.
A ranch burger. You know what that is? That's a certain kind of style.
Right, well, thank you. Have a good night.
Do you have any more questions? Or like, do you feel?
I can throw pictures. I'll just do, I mean, one more probably of these preliminary ones. I'll just come with something a little bit more detailed. No way.
Thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience?
Before you go, they do make a pressure treated, like pre-routed handrail system where it's not like a 2x2 slapped to the side of a 2x4. If you did that and you painted the whole thing, I just think if your customer is cost conscious and
They're definitely investors.
it might be the happy medium. Rings and sells them too. It's a routed out 4x4 that they make a profile on top and you throw the 2x2 underneath, just tack it in and then you put another one on the bottom, you do it right on top. So it looks like the Intex, but you're not paying like $500 a section.
All right, I'll look at that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stick on.
Yeah, of course. DMC, are you here for a prelim?
You have to put your cursor on it to see if you.
You're asking, but that's what I asked last time.
DMZ, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
EMZ, can you hear us?
Andrea, are you here for a prelim? Nope. Craig and Amy, are you here for a prelim? All right. Works for me.
Craig and Amy just unmute.
Craig and Amy?
Yes, we're not here for a prelim.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have an agenda in the front. I forgot what comes next. Thank you. Pardon? Public communications. So we do have one public communication. Leatherneck Associates has asked for reasons for his denial of the May 26, 2022 application. This was the brewery building sign and building sign lighting and temporary shade covering. I wasn't at that meeting, so my suggestion, I think, would be to appropriately respond was anybody who was here at that meeting and voted, if you can just send me a little memo as to why, and I'll compile something formal to send back.
And that's April 26th.
That was the one you were okay with
May
the sign, you were not
26th.
okay with the lighting.
You just send us
Yeah,
one.
Max.
please.
Max was.
Max is here too.
Okay, I'll shoot Max an email.
That was where it was the backlit sign.
But it was also one of those shade
Yep,
covers.
it's both, building sign lighting and temporary
There were-
shade covering.
Weren't there 4 things we denied 3?
Selection on.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone just got to refresh us.
maybe it was written up, just wasn't clear.
Yeah.
You guys wrote it up.
So I'll just, once I get all that, I'll send it out to
Can
him.
I make a request? Can you just email that to the committee?
You want me to email this letter?
No, email your request.
Oh,
and
sure.
we can respond to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep, just reply to me individually. Okay, approval of the minutes from June 7, 2022. I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, Levinson. Brady.
Aye.
Moriarty, aye. Goodman,
Abstain.
Ferguson. We can't pass them.
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
We'll continue the minutes and approve them next time.
You can vote on minutes even if you aren't at the meeting. You just have to read
You
them.
just have to read them.
What are you even doing?
Do we have any old business, Pete?
I have something I'd like to bring up if old business is appropriate.
Is it old business or is it new business?
It's probably old business,
Okay.
going into new business. It's 3 Orchard Lane.
Okay.
So, I've been thinking about it, because as you know, I've heard from Ms. Castens before.
Well, this is the.
The
Defense.
fence.
Okay.
So I've kind of done a deep dive, because keep saying we have to look back and watch the meetings, which I have, and I don't know how in-depth you want me to get. I would like the commission to look at pulling the CLA back, because I do think it was not, I think the owner of the Orchard Lane did not abide by what she told us at the hearings, nor what the CLA says. So I think she's in violation. I believe we have the authority to address that, and I would like us to do so. I can go in depth. I've actually written out a sort of, for lack of a better word, what was the word I'm looking for? I pulled synopsis from what she said at the meetings.
Yep.
You know, if you want, I'll go through them, we can go through them line by line.
I don't want to do that. What I would like you to do is send that to me and I'll send it to the town attorney.
Okay.
Because based on what he told us, we cannot pull back COAs. It's all in Tom Zanarini's hands, but I think that it's best to kick it to him if he has all the material. It's great that you did that, but you send it to me, I'll send it to him.
Because I didn't pull the section where it gives us the ability, so
that's fine.
hopefully he can hang his hat on that.
new
Okay,
business.
I'll bring it back up to new business.
You're basically saying, John, is that there were some material misrepresentations either by omission or commission in terms of what we were showing.
Correct.
You know, what was-
I mean, it actually says specifically, or we bring up from any public view as the fence not visible. The address, Miss Cass's address is specifically brought up, and she says you won't see it from there. And if I may, even our chairperson said at the meeting with Rich that you felt there was misrepresentation. So I think there's a very strong case for it here.
Okay, so send that to me.
I will.
I'll send it to Rich and then we'll get that done. Any other new business?
Is it different than just enforcing it as not compliant?
I haven't read it, so I don't know yet.
I mean,
Yeah, I
can we
just-
do that?
why
Because
are-
it's not compliant.
Why are we wasting money on the town attorney who I was not impressed with from his performance here the last time, that he just didn't answer many questions. So instead of going to him and trying to ask about that, if it's non-compliance, it's just enforced as a non-compliance as a commission.
Tom's already stated,
Right,
you're
that's
trying to state, Tom's
compliant.
already stated that it's in compliance.
Right.
That's what was issued.
But from the wrong address.
Right, so if you're gonna bring that up,
So if
you're
it's,
going against what he's stating in his opinion.
it's like saying I was speeding on New London Road, and you took the reading on Westminster Avenue. I can't be in two spots. That's my issue. He takes it from Ashby Street. It's not Ashby Street, it's New London Road. So I don't see how we get about it in compliance.
I guess my point is, why not make your case, decide if you want to bring it back to Tom?
Tom's already made his
Tom's
decision.
made his decision. So
From
this
the
is,
wrong street.
right, but we asked him to look at it again. So I think we kind of have to go through the administrative protocols. So if you can send me that and I can send it to Tom and the town attorney, and that's the way that we have to do it. Is my understanding. So.
Okay, even if I quote the law that says we can do it. All right.
I don't understand that. I just don't get it.
So
If he's got the statute that says we have the right to do it, why don't we have the right to do it?
Would you like me to read the statute?
nope, I just want you to send it to me. And then from there, we'll either disseminate it to the commission or to Tom and Rich. Is my suggestion. Staff.
Let's say
Agree?
you bring it under new business, and it would be best interest for everyone to review it before they make an opinion on it immediately.
I just want to
Take
hear
some
it.
time
that's
to
all.
process.
Yeah.
So take it and kind of look at it. Yeah.
Tonight?
No, I would say.
No, not in the meeting, like,
Yeah, bring it up
business.
in old business next meeting.
right,
So-
so,
So we're gonna begin a new business this meeting, then old business next
Right,
meeting.
you're bringing new business, you're gonna present it, she's
Present.
gonna disseminate it to
we'll
everybody
disseminate,
here.
and then we can discuss it in old
And
business.
then
next
you
meeting.
guys can kind of look at it in your own time, come back at the next meeting.
Okay.
Discuss it there.
All right, so I'll bring it back up in a few minutes, is what you're saying. Got it.
It's new business now, go ahead.
That's.
All right, so new business. Bring up 3 Orchard Lane and Mystic.
So, since we've just had the summary, I'll look to staff, but I still think that we should disseminate it, rather than read it into the meeting tonight, it should be disseminated amongst the commission and then formulate an opinion and figure out what's to do at the next meeting. And I still think that it should be disseminated to both Rich and Tom.
Okay, so you would like me to basically email this to you and you'll disseminate it to the commissioner. What's the proper procedure to disseminate it to the
You go to the
commission?
chair.
And I'll email it to everybody, and including Tom and Rich.
I just don't understand. If he is a member of the commission, wants to just read a statute, a state statute, and give his opinion on what's going on, like why not just let him read it?
And
Yeah, nobody's gonna make a decision on it.
Right.
But if he wants to do it, let him do it. You guys are saying, no, I want to send it off to the town attorney without him even being allowed to speak.
I'm saying, since he's got a bunch of information on here, multiple papers, it's good for you all to actually spend some time looking at
No, I'm
it.
not saying, I'm not telling him to sit here and
Read the whole
give
thing.
us a dissertation.
Okay,
or
great,
read
great.
details.
That's
I'm
what I'm
just
saying,
saying,
we're trying to avoid that. We don't want him going in and reading all these pages.
right,
If he's just gonna read the statute, that's fine.
right.
But I'm saying if he's not gonna go through every page.
Right. Quite frankly, though, if he wants to sit here all night and read whatever hours, I mean, we can make the choice to leave or go, but
Right.
if he wants to do that, he can do that.
Yeah, right.
He's right, he's
Well, I'm
allowed.
gonna
to
close
do
the
that.
doors eventually.
Right, but he can't. What I'm
You
That's
saying,
it, you
You
know,
guys
shut
can
it
hop
down.
on Zoom and watch it from home.
right, exactly. But if he wants to give a quick synopsis, I'm just saying, give him the opportunity. He did the work. So,
Your show.
If you want, I just, people process information differently.
All right, I will,
you should still send it out.
I will quickly go through this and I'll send it out. How's that sound? So going back, we start May 6th. It's when the application is put in. Tom actually specifically says, I've received your application. Please submit photos of your property from the street and other public views. So we've always considered all public views on this property. Moving to May 10th. So applicant response to comments on any angles from the street where the fence may be visible. The picket fence will be across from the side of the house. I won't go too deep in this, but she basically says specifically the picket fence will cover this chain link fence, and chain link fences are prohibited in the historic district per our manual, as we all know. Goes into the June meeting. Again, New London Road is discussed from the visibility, comes up from us. Applicants say the chain link fence will not be visible from New London Road. Okay, that's on the June 15th meeting. So, but I didn't bring the COA. The COA actually also says cannot be visible from street. Doesn't say Orchard Lane, doesn't say, so it just says from the street. It is visible from the street. And again, even Sarah, I'll quote you if it's okay. You said this was at the April 18th meeting with Rich. Unfortunately, in all my years on this board, it's the only time that I'm sensing that she is misrepresenting in the applicant. So we've sensed, again, misrepresentation. So again, I'll send this out so you guys can read it at leisure, but the code is section 7 of dash 147H. Action by the commission to prevent illegal acts. And any provision of this part or in any action taken or ruling made by the Historic District Commission pursuant to the provisions of said sections or any regulation or ordinance adopted under said sections has been violated, the commission may, in addition to other remedies, institute an action in Superior Court for the judicial district wherein such violation exists, which court shall have jurisdiction to restrain such violations and to issue orders directing that the violations be corrected or removed. Such order may direct removal of any building, structure, or exterior architectural feature erected in violation of said sections or any bylaw or ordinance adopted under said sections, or the substantial restoration of any building, structure, or exterior architectural feature altered, demolished in violation of said sections, or any regulation or ordinance adopted under said sections. Regulations and orders of the commission issued pursuant to said sections or to any regulations or ordinances adopted under said section shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement official or building inspector or by such other person who may be designated by ordinance, who may be authorized to inspect and examine any building, structure, place, or premise, and to require in writing the remedying of any condition found to exist therein or therein in violation of any provision of the regulations or orders made under the authority of said sections or any regulations or orders adopted under said sections. And it goes on to say how we can actually find the owner. I mean, I can go on and on, but it does give us the authority to
Initiate an action.
initiate action up to and including the Superior Court action. Doesn't have to go there. So I think we have the ability to do this.
Yeah, but then it also seems to say that the initial action or enforcement procedure has to be taken by whichever entity is designated as the enforcer, which would be Santorini in this case.
Right, but I think he's right though, which is we want to vote to take action.
Yeah.
Right, but I agree with Sarah that I think we should be able to, read your summary, assess the summary, and read the thing. And I don't want to vote on anything today.
Totally, completely agree with that. That's fine.
Well, thanks for letting me present it. I appreciate it.
Any other new business? And I move we're adjourned. No seconds. You don't have to second it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna, it's all on my